So we got a bunch of new Transformers Rise of the Beast stuff to talk about today. Two brand new Transformers mainline Rise of the Beast stuff. I guess we could call it the Beast Alliance in this case too. Two new Voyagers have surfaced in retail on the other side of the globe in Southeast Asia, along with a whole bunch of brand new images of new packaging of the Studio Series stuff. Some new stuff here and there to talk about. So let's jump into that. So we got these two new Voyagers. Initially, when I talked about these quickly on the stream, I assumed they were Deluxes just by the size of them and everything, but they are indeed Voyagers, and I think it has to do with some of the price budgeting and how they're going about it. First one we got here is the Transformers Rise of the Beast Voyager class Rhinox. Again, I guess it's Beast Alliance. Maybe it's just mainline. I don't know how we're going to label this in the future, but we'll go with Beast Alliance for now until something is said otherwise. So again, because it's mainline, we can't take the robot mode and its styling 100% for face value. The mainline or Beast Alliance stuff is really just trying to be its own thing that is a mixture of movie aesthetic with what was the original Beast Wars show. And you get this beautiful marriage, in all honesty. I mean, I love how it looks. It looks like show Rhinox. It looks great. Comes with two chain guns. That looks really cool. When it comes to the budget, though, so this one here, it looks like it only uses two different kinds of plastic. It uses a gray plastic and a tan color. Everything else is done with paint deco to kind of like, I guess, really keep the budget low. The size of the figure, though, isn't too bad because there's some great images showing it next to a Voyager class Kingdom Rhinox, and they're pretty comparable. Now, granted, the Kingdom Rhinox has way more plastics, way more paint, so you could clearly see that we don't have an MSRP on this, but I'm going to assume this isn't going to be your standard price point Voyager MSRP. This mainline stuff, if anything, despite the fact that it's trying to be different than what Studio Series will offer us in terms of extremely movie accurate looks, it might also be something that gives people an alternative, and also probably for maybe the lower income and cheaper areas that this will be sold in. Maybe even here in America, some of them like a CVS or something that's more of a grocery store. It's going to be the cheaper alternative product outside of the more collector-oriented mainline stuff that we see, like, let's say, of a Studio Series. So that's kind of where I'm leaning on that. Think Authentics, but maybe just bumped up just a little bit in terms of pricing. But I think he looks great. Little square in the back, I'll be honest with you, and the Rhino hump. But otherwise, I think it looks really cool. Robot mode looks really awesome with the dual-wielding chain guns. I like how you could put both of the chain guns on the Rhino mode itself, so you could kind of wield them too, because he has these two little 3mm pegs on the side of him. I think it looks great. Again, I think despite the fact that it only uses two colored plastics, the amount of paint that's put into it really helps it define those details, and I think it looks good. I mean, it's Rhinox, it's Beast Wars. It's something where if Rhinox turns out not looking that great in the movie, this will still be a really cool figure that people could pick up as an alternative if they really like their old mainframe Beast Wars Rhinox look. So I like what I see here. Now, the Optimus is the one that kind of really has this point of contention because the use of plastics with this one, you have the clear blue plastic that's used for the truck windows and the light piping, and that's pretty much it. And then you have red plastics, gray plastics, and the black used pretty much for the wheels. All of the blue that you see on this figure is painted. All the other deco is pretty much painted too. So the budget is kept really low on this one. If anything with this one, there's very few paint apps outside of the blue and maybe, obviously the Autobot logo and some of the silver. And everything else is just molded in plastic. He comes with just his ion blaster, so it's a lot less weapons than even the Rhinox. And again, maybe because it uses 4 kinds of plastics instead of the 2 that Rhinox does, maybe that might also explain why this is a very small Voyager. Now, we have some photos here next to a Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Voyager, and of course our War for Cybertron, pick your different Optimus Voyagers there. There's so many. And it's significantly taller. That's why I thought it was a Deluxe at some point. So we're seeing kind of a different kind of scaled Voyager, but we don't know the prices and how they're using this mainline or Beast Alliance stuff for Voyagers here. So it's really curious. which then makes me wonder, how are those deluxes then that we already saw in the case of Airazor and Cheetor standing next to these? Is everyone going to be kind of the same size? Is it more of a budget measure than it is something of a size thing and pieces and parts? We will see. But, you know, again, it looks cool. The way I see it is, it's something where if you didn't get the Studio Series counterparts, this is a more budget purchase for you. You could still get a version of him. And it looks like the movie. Looks good. I mean, the paint makes up for the lack of blue plastics. I hope it just doesn't chip that easily. I think it looks good. It's just a cheaper alternative to the Bumblebee movie Prime if you didn't get that Studio Series version. So we'll see what happens. We need more information on these, but these are showing up in retail on the other side of the globe, so it's only a matter of time before these show up in the hands of us Western collectors and stuff like that, and we'll get a deeper breakdown on what's going on there. The only other thing I really want to know is, you know, since these are low-cost items, it makes me wonder, are these more open up to being used for repaints later on? Are we going to see these maybe in a Buzzworthy Bumblebee line? Is it something where we're going to see different colored Rhinoxes? Maybe show-colored Rhinox, like really emphasizing the show colors and adding more greens? Or maybe dark design Rhinox with those silvers? Obviously, we're going to probably get a Nemesis Prime Black Convoy from the Optimus at some point. It's just how science works with our hobby. But we'll see. Still pretty cool. Other thing I just want to cover quickly is we got a whole bunch of now in-package images of a lot of the Studio Series stuff we've already seen. Nothing really new or breaking in terms of news, but we do have some new packaging art that we're seeing for the first time and some background images that we're seeing for the first time. So this is more about the boxes than it is about the figures. So the Core Class Arcee, we finally get to see that package art that we only seen up to this point on a t-shirt. I knew it was going to be packaging art because that's just the control art and that's just how it is. So that's going to be for her Core Class packaging. She also comes with the Roads of Peru, which we saw in the trailer when she's with Wheeljack, so that's being done. We have Deluxe Class Airazor with the Peruvian jungle discovery background, and that's also that we saw in the trailer when Primal was talking with Optimus Prime. The Voyager Class Cheetor also comes with the Peruvian jungle discovery background. Exact same thing. I'm going to assume, because he's a Voyager and she's a Deluxe, maybe it's just larger. So if you want a much larger of that same cardboard background, the Cheetor one is probably the way to go. We have the Deluxe Class Bumblebee, the off-road one. That's the Studio Series 100. This one comes with the Volcano Showdown background. Don't know what that is. That might be a little bit spoilery, if anything. So that's that one too. And the last one, which we've already seen, but we're just going to kind of round it off here, the Voyager Class Battletrap at the Attack at the Museum background, which we've seen before already and covered in the past. So very interesting stuff otherwise. Again, a lot of new packaged images and stuff like that. Rise of the Beast is now coming very quickly. Every single week we're getting some new product being found, some new reveals, and we're getting 1 week closer, every week closer, another day, another week, another month closer to that summer release. Very exciting. Let me know what you think, guys. Hopefully we'll get some more images of more product as this week continues. I have a busy day today, Hasbro related. We'll talk again real soon.